I think everybody is interested in living a life that is filled with health and happiness. So of course, the information that we share, like many people, it's about enhancing human evolution, and everybody wants to experience love. Everybody wants to be hunger-free. So the work that we do is about sharing with people about a source of nourishment that everybody has within them that can take away their physical hunger, their emotional hunger, their mental hunger, and their spiritual hunger. So that's the work we do. You know, evolution on one level can be seen as just a path of change. The question is, are we evolving in a way that is beneficial for everybody, or are we evolving in a way that continues to promote fear and separation and differences rather than unification? So the changing flow of human expansion, now many people are feeling needs to happen in a way that creates unification, that creates honor and love and respect and appreciation of the differences that we have through our cultural and environmental influences. So it's interesting because evolution also brings choice, but we can't have choice until we're aware of the different fields of possibility that are available to us. And many people who live the lifestyle that we promote at the Embassy of Peace are aware that that sort of lifestyle is making them healthier and happier and more fulfilled and feeling more unified and more appreciative of the world. So it's choice, new ways of being, old ways of being. What do people really want in their heart of hearts? And I find, you know, everybody wants the same things. Everybody wants to feel love. Everybody wants to have good health, that's physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual health. Everyone wants to experience wealth, whether it's wealth of enough money to do more than survive, but to have a good life, and also the wealth of wisdom, the wealth of clarity, the wealth of vision. People also want to have really good relationships with family and friends, and they want to feel that their life has a purpose and that there's passion in their life. So there's many ways that we can evolve into being that provides these things for everybody, not just for the lucky few or those who were born into a good caste system in India or those who were born to privilege and money in the West. So these are the things that we are looking to provide in the next stage of our evolution. A healthy, happy, peace-filled life for people and all individuals that are open to this, and many are now. Well, evolution happens anyway. Change happens anyway. That's evolution. Evolution just happens, you know. The question is, how do we want to evolve? In the past, we've spent a lot of time evolving technologically, and using our left brain reality, our mind of logic, and we've been evolving away or moving away from using other resources that we have as a species. For example, the resource of human intuition. So now we're coming back to work with head and heart into a higher state of union so that we can change in a way that is beneficial for everybody. For a long time, we've developed very patriarchal, technological left brain systems. They don't work, nor do completely intuitive right brain systems or matriarchal systems. So now we're coming into a choice of evolving in a way that marries everything that we have known through all the past timelines, through all the past generations, to create something different for our world. We've created war. We've created violence, we've created poverty, we've created separation, and we can do that really well. We know how to do all that. So now people are just becoming a little bit more aware that we do have choice, we do have creative power, and that we're choosing now to evolve in a different way. Evolution is unstoppable. The question is, in what areas do we want to evolve? Life's experiences teach us to open and to recognize what's right for us. You know, many people reach a point in their life personally just through living through different experiences where they say, surely we can live in peace in a culture or as a world, or who am I? What am I here for? These are the very beginning questions that start a whole course of change or a new direction for a human being. But many people in our world, 2/3 of our people, are living on less than $1 a day, and they're struggling to survive. But even though they're struggling to survive and just put food on the table and take care of their children and all of this, maybe even clothe them or provide water or the basic things that a human being needs to survive, even then they are still dreaming. As they're working, as they're struggling, as they're being challenged by life trying to survive, they're still dreaming of higher possibilities, of a better future for their children, of a better future for their grandchildren. And it's our dreaming that creates the change. It's our desire to operate in a different way, to have a different experience in life. These sorts of desires and dreams and questions, they begin to open up pathways for us to tread, new paths for us to tread. But they always say, until a student is ready, the master can't appear, or until you can ask the question, the answer can't come. So a human has to get to a point to ask basic questions of who am I? What am I doing on this planet? Is it really all about struggle and survival? Can it be more an energy about really thriving here and enjoying every moment, enjoying this existence? Can we create permanent peace on earth? Can we live in a state of paradise here now? Is there truth to the things the yogis have taught? Is there truth to the messages of Jesus? Is there truth to the messages of Mohammed or Buddha or Krishna? Is there a truth here on what has been said beyond religion? Does religion have to separate us and create war and violence? Or can we be unified by understanding the true messages of all the religions? You know, what is truth? What is God? What is a real experience of divinity? When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within us, can we experience that? If so, how? All of these are questions that different people come to hold and to seek answers for, and it's in the seeking that the answers come. You know, I think in the course of evolution, there are certain factors that come into play. And right now, there's what we call a dovetailing or a joining of many different factors. There's all the prophecies that have been... There's all the prophecies that have been given before, the Mayan prophecies, the prophecies of the Hopi Indians, many different realities now coming together. Science, where we have entered into an energy flow, you could say, of the photon belt energy, which is like Christed consciousness according to some metaphysicians. The Christians talk about the return of the Christed energy, the second coming, which to some people means the revelation of the Christed energy within our own being. Everybody around the world, or many people around the world, as I've been traveling these last 16 years, say that they believe that there is an energy that is all-knowing, all-powerful, very wise, very loving. It is in everything, and it is including in itself in this energy system. So it's in us, it's around us. So right now there's a dovetailing or a co-joining of many different factors coming together, astrologically, on a prophecy level, on a science level. Stephen Hawking, for example, the quantum scientist, he said recently that he is dedicating the rest of his life here to do the mathematics to prove that black holes, and then maybe even white holes, are actually dimensional doorways. subatomic particle physics talks about merging of membranes, that we have energy fields that can be influenced just by the observation of an event, that you can change an event by altering it. Everything is now coming together now to make human beings more empowered and to understand that the kingdom of heaven is within, that the return of the Christ is the revelation of our own Christed nature, and we're basically being guided from our intuitive nature, our divine nature, you could say, to operate in a different harmony here, so that what we are creating works for the good of all. So 2012 is simply talking about a shift in consciousness. Now that shift in consciousness has been happening to people all throughout time, from the times of Lemuria and Atlantis and Egyptian civilizations, right through the technological ages, all of that. So you could say it's just a synthesizing of many different streams of reality right now that are inviting us to just expand our consciousness so that we operate with divine mind and not out of ego ideas or greed agendas, or I want the oil of this country, so I'm going to send troops in and invade that country and take its resources. For example, we've just seen the movie Avatar. Now everybody loves the movie Avatar, and the reason they love the movie Avatar is because the indigenous people win. Now the indigenous people in Avatar have a very different way of operating, very tuned to the forces of nature, very aware of the heartbeat of the planet, that their planet is a living energy field, very aware on different levels, living in harmony with their planet. And then of course you have the conquerors who come in to take the unobtainium minerals, which are worth so much money in Earth in the movie, and they cause war and havoc and violence, and they blow up the sacred tree, and they do all sorts of crazy things. We've seen that a lot in our world. We've seen that a lot politically. We've seen that a lot with the conquistadors who came to South America and took over the Incan civilization and killed lots of people and completely gave no thought or care to the truth, the harmony that the indigenous people held with Gaia and with the world. Now, when you exist out of harmony with the natural forces, those natural forces rebel after a while. So right now, it's actually a time of the indigenous people, because they hold the secrets of how to live in harmony with nature and our world, so we don't have global warming, so we don't have misuse of resources and all these things. So it's a very interesting time we're living in now, and it is a time of people growing up, people becoming educated into other choices, people deciding to act with heart and intelligence and not just crazy monkey minds that take. So yeah, big changes right now. Every system, every economic system, every political system that is not operating for the good of all is crumbling now and will continue to crumble, because it's time for us to just act in a different way. You know, to be more honoring of each other, more respectful of each other, to enjoy the gifts that we all bring. I have great faith in human nature. I've seen many miracles in this world. I've seen many people change their lives around quite dramatically by changing attitude. You know, one of the attitudes we can change is to stop looking at what's wrong with this world, to stop judging, to stop looking for fault in each other, to stop judging ourselves and being hard on each other, to engage in more kindness, to engage in more compassion, to choose to see the good in everyone, to choose to see the God in every situation if you believe in God, or as the Buddhists believe in this intelligent quantum field. When we look for the good and the God in everything and everyone, then it can reveal itself, because it is all here. So it's really just a shift in attitudes, a change in lifestyle with people. You know, people choosing to no longer indulge in toxic thinking, toxic feeling and toxic feeding patterns, because we put so much toxicity into our system. You know, we give our bodies junk food and toxic food that is creating huge diseases, from cancer to heart disease to obesity. We spend billions of dollars on medical systems which are so unnecessary if we could just have a more holistic education system that teaches you how to work with the body energy system in a different way. Light, live, healthy food will create a different body harmonic than junk food, for example. Meditation allows you to work with different brainwave patterns so that you work with more creative levels, you have clearer thinking, you have more creative thinking, you have more positive solutions coming into your life because you're sitting still and shutting up and learning to listen to your intuitive divine nature, which has amazing access to divine wisdom and to the quantum field. All these things people are now learning and are being educated about by the millions of holistic educators out in the world who are teaching people about good nutritional habits, about other sources of nourishment through meditation and positive thinking as well. So all of this now is creating a huge shift in consciousness with people as they're making different choices. So I see Earth, our future, as a wonderful time, a world that we can be proud to pass on to our children and grandchildren because people are listening to that inner voice. Everybody knows when you follow your voice of intuition, life's good. When you ignore it, life's not good. And everybody I speak to anyway has had experiences of this. So we have a brilliant world, but it's a world that we are creating by our focus and by our thoughts. We're not going to be rescued by extraterrestrial intelligence. That's not the game. This is our planet. You know, we're not going to be rescued by the return of an incredible savior. There is not going to be a Jesus who comes out from heaven on a white horse and kills all the bad guys and creates rivers of blood like the people who believe in the rapture are thinking about. You know, that's a really interesting interpretation of biblical teachings from the book of Revelation, which we don't have to bring into being. You know, there doesn't need to be any more bloodshed. There doesn't need to be any more violence. We can simply, all of us, hold one paradigm as we walk through this world, and that is perfect harmony, all fields now. As a citizen of planet Earth, I am asking the quantum field of infinite intelligence to download into the hearts and minds of all beings in positions of power who can create change, and into my own being, the perfect resolution to free us all from conflict in a way that is beneficial for myself, for others, and for this world. Now, Max Planck, the founder of quantum physics, said for every problem in the quantum field there is a solution. And what I've seen with the human life stream is that when you really ask with a sincere heart and a sincere intention for a resolution, for a solution that is beneficial for you and human evolution, that information always comes when we're open, when we're ready, and when we can listen. So that's why meditation is so beneficial, because it allows us to sit down in the stillness and to ask to experience who we really are, to ask to experience the truth of the teachings of Buddha and Jesus and Mohammed and Krishna and all the other ones. So there are many wonderful tools for us now, and people are using them, and they're doing it with great love and great sincerity because they want to create a better world. So all of that makes me feel really, really, really hopeful and happy for human evolution and where we're going now. So brilliant times ahead. Little bit of chaos, you know, because the old systems are crumbling economically, politically, all of this. But from that chaos will, you know, from the ashes will arise a phoenix of amazing wonder, the rebirth, you know, of our species into a more civilized way of being.